Good morning, everyone. It's Lee Henson, President and Founder of Agiledad, and it's time for today's episode of the Daily Standup. So without any further ado, let's get started. Today, I wanted to discuss with you a growing trend that is concerning me that I've seen in organizations, and it is interesting. Here's how the trend goes. I'm seeing more and more organizations sending people to certified Scrum Master class, which is a good thing, right? But what's happening is the person who's coming to certified Scrum Master class says, well, my main job is X. I'm a developer. I'm a product owner. I'm a director. I'm a something else, right? They have some other job. I'm a full-time business analyst. And my company paid for me to get the Scrum Master certification, so I can do that as my side hustle, my side gig, because that's not a full-time job. I mean, after all, the Scrum Master is just mainly there to facilitate meetings, so they want me to learn how to facilitate all the meetings. And I'm like, please tell me this is a joke, right? But I think that many organizations are looking at Agile as a framework and considering that the Scrum Master is not a mandatory role, or that it can be shared responsibilities, or that there's not a lot going on. I even recently got challenged by someone who said, we're excited to get our company involved in Agile. I said, great. They said, we're going to do some safe courses and we're going to do a product owner course because that's what we need. I'm like, what about your Scrum Master? Are you all set there? Do you have any? I said, oh, no, we're not going to have any Scrum Masters. We don't need those. I'm like, companies are actually trying to exist without the role of a Scrum Master, and that scares me half to death. So every time I hear that, I challenge and I say, why do you feel like you don't need a Scrum Master? And the majority of the time, the answers that I get are things along the lines of, the Scrum Master only works for 15 or 30 minutes a day facilitating meetings. It's pretty much a useless role. They sit around and do nothing. They all they do is identify problems that the team could identify themselves. It's the company's view is just that there's no credibility or there's no importance to the Scrum Master role. And it just drives me crazy because all you would have to do is take one quick look at the Scrum Guide. And the current version of Scrum Guide gives a real good outing for why you need a Scrum Master. It basically says, here's a quote: the Scrum Master is responsible for promoting and supporting Scrum as defined in the Scrum Guide. Scrum Masters do this by helping everyone understand Scrum theory, practices, rules, and values. The Scrum Master is a servant leader for the Scrum team. The Scrum Master helps those outside the Scrum team understand which of their interactions with the Scrum team are helpful and which are not. The Scrum Master helps everyone change these interactions to maximize value created by the team. So, if you're trying to enjoy the full benefits of Agile or Scrum in general, you're not going to be able to do that without the help of, drumroll, a full-time Scrum Master. It's just the way it goes. It's impossible for you. It would be the same as trying to say, we want to have a football team, but we don't want to have a full-time quarterback. I mean, half the time they're just handing the ball to the running back anyway. Why don't we just, do without the quarterback, and we could just hike the ball straight to the running back and let them run with it? I mean, if they do need to throw, for the rare occasions where they do throw, the running back can throw the ball. It'll be okay. Or do it without a coach even, right? We don't need a coach. The coach is just there on the sidelines telling us what to do. The team knows the plays. They can decide what to do. I think what we're trying to see here is that trying to operate without leadership, without some type of servant leadership, without someone to coach or to be there, it's a recipe for disaster, right? When teams operate without a Scrum Master, it eliminates their ability to focus on goals. It allows them to enter pure firefighting mode instead of fire prevention, where they're constantly just putting out fires for everyone else. You'll see that there's multiple interruptions. Stakeholders generally don't respect the team and the way they work. Sprints are constantly being interrupted and full of scope change. Teams aren't progressing or getting better at their craft sprint by sprint. And teams find themselves dissatisfied with the work that they're doing. And the organization in general is dissatisfied and feels like quality is diminished and that the product or service that's being built does not meet the needs of the organization. It falls back on, why does this happen, right? Why do organizations fall into this pit? Part of it is the teams themselves saying, we don't need a babysitter, we're fine. And that's their distorted view of what a Scrum Master does, possibly because they've had a poor Scrum Master in the past. I think it's critical for them to understand what the role is and how it's significant, and how it's more than just scheduling ceremonies or attending meetings. you should look at it more like a Venn diagram, where the Scrum Master is the center or the hub of all the communication between an organization, a product owner, and a delivery team. And when I'm talking about the product owner, I'm talking about the product owner and their interaction with the organization as in leadership or as in stakeholders. So sometimes it's this cross-lateral communication that's pretty incredible. And I mean, I might even go as far as to say that the Scrum Masters are more than just guardians of the framework, but they're actually the tool that allows organizations to help best use Scrum. They're the doctor. They listen to all the symptoms, they make diagnosis, they write prescriptions to help the team and organization get better. They always follow the empirical process. They focus on transparency, inspection, adaptation. They work between all the different parts of the organization to help make sure all the skids are greased and things are ready to go. Scrum Masters also recognize that different stages of the team's development require different approaches. Sometimes they need to be a teacher, sometimes they need a coach, sometimes they need just a mentor to help them through individually. I think that the Scrum Master is probably the most underappreciated role within the Agile framework because most people don't understand what a Scrum Master spends most of their time doing. Scrum Masters spend 70% of their time doing whatever it takes to help the team operationally be more effective and have them have the ability to build things without interruption and to make the Scrum Master's job is to make the team's life easier. And that's something that's intangible and hard to measure. I mean, there are countless number of people who've written articles on this, and I could give you a list of 1 to 20 if you'd like. But the truth is, until we start understanding the Scrum Master role and the importance of it, I think that Agile as a whole is going to suffer because whether you're doing Agile with a Scrum Master, whether you have an Agile coach in that place, whether you have a release train engineer in that place, I'm not going to argue over which flavor of Agile you're doing. Without that hub, that center of communication, without someone who can diagnose problems, you're going to wind up in a place where it's going to be very difficult for you to be successful with your implementation. So that's going to do it. I hope this was helpful to you. As always, we encourage you to visit agiledad.com where you can learn more about this or any other topic. And of course, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.